when it comes to making more sales in your business, there are 4 things that I think are essential, and they happen to coincide with the word sale, SALE. So it's really easy for you to remember. Now, as we know, sales are the lifeblood of our business. And if we're not able to consistently bring in sales, then it just becomes really hard to stay in business. And with the market shifting and moving at such a fast pace, this is a conversation that we need to be having more often. If you're new here, hey, I'm Suze Chadwick, a personal brand and business coach, helping you get out of your own way so that you can build a brand that sells for you. Now, I started off in sales. One of my first jobs was actually in telemarketing, where I used to call people to donate to the motor neuron disease, as well as getting people to convert their phone to a different provider. I think I was about 19 at the time. So I've been in sales for a really long time, and it's actually a topic that I really love talking about. I know that a lot of people feel awkward or struggle when it comes to sales. So that's another reason why I love talking about it, because I really want to help you to build your confidence, to understand, as we know, selling is serving. When you sell, people can work with you. They can have the transformation. They can get the outcome that they want. And so this is a good thing. So let's dive into the 4 things that I think are really essential. So the first one is S for strategy. You've got to have some sort of sales strategy. I say to my clients, and I was saying to them yesterday on our Amplify Accelerator coaching call, was when I ask you what your marketing strategy is, what your content strategy is, what your sales strategy is, do you know what they are? And having a strategy just means that you know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and what works for you and what doesn't. And so if you've got an online business, understanding how things like your lead magnets, your low ticket or taster offers work to then bring people into your orbit so that they can find out more about you and then lead into your ascension model, which is what the other products are that are in your sales suite. Like really understanding the strategy around what it is you've got and how you're selling it is so important. And so often I will say to somebody, what is your sales strategy? What's your marketing or sales strategy, which are 2 different things. And a lot of the time, I'll get a little bit of a blank stare. Like I post content and I hope that it brings in clients, but there isn't an organized, strategic, and mapped out way that they're bringing in leads into their business and then they're converting that into paying clients. So you have to have a strategy. And if you're sitting there going, Suze, I don't have a strategy, then that is something that we work with our clients to be able to do. And we've spoken about different strategies here on the podcast as well. Now, your strategy obviously also depends on what your business model is. So for example, my sales strategy for consulting is different to my online course, mastermind, business coaching strategy. If you've got a product-based business, your sales strategy is going to be different as well. And so you've really got to take a look at, based on my business model and what it is I'm wanting to sell, what's my strategy? And if you've got different products and services, you might have different sales strategies. So the question you need to answer at this point is, what is my marketing and my sales strategy? What am I doing on a regular basis that is helping new leads to come in and then for me to take them through that customer journey to a point where the right people, not all people, but the right people end up buying from you, and you're able to obviously help them get the outcomes and the transformations that they want. The second one is A. So A is for action. And once again, when I speak to a lot of business owners, they don't have specific, I call them professional practices and actions that they're taking every day that are revenue generating. So what exactly are you doing today that's helping you to connect with more customers, make an offer, convert a sale? It could be things like posting content with a specific goal and outcome that leads to a checkout or to a particular offer. It could be that you're emailing your subscriber list and making an offer to them. You could be emailing individuals who have shown interest in the past in working with you that haven't taken action. And so the action part is really just having daily practices that you're consistently going back to. Other actions around sales could be your metrics as well. So taking a look at how many people signed up for this, what were the conversations that we had, what was our conversion rate, what else do we need to do next time? And so your actions could be initiating something, measuring something, closing something. And I find the conversation around sales activity a really interesting one, because Often you've got people that say, well, when you're having a conversation with somebody, you want to follow up if you didn't get a final answer when you spoke to them. And other people are like, you never follow up. The right people who want to take action will come to you. And so I think you've got to make that decision for yourself. As somebody who has worked in sales for a long time, when I'm in a conversation for a high ticket offer, I will follow up with clients to see where they're at, whether they're going to be a yes or a no. I don't leave things in limbo. And so that's just another action and strategy you have to make a decision on, as far as whether that's something that you're going to be doing on the regular and what that looks like for you. Another action that I like to take as well is that I always say hi to new followers on my social platforms, especially Instagram, because it's my number one platform. If I get a new follower, if you follow me on Instagram, 9 times out of 10, I will say hi. I will check out if there's anything that you need, or if you're just following along for the journey, and get into a conversation. And the reason that I do that, and I find it really strange when people don't do it, is because we do all of this work. We do all of this work to grow our followers on our particular platforms, and then people come and follow and we don't say anything. And I always think about it, it's like somebody just walked into your house and you just ignored them. Now, if you're somebody that's getting thousands of followers every day, then fantastic. But for the majority of people, you're kind of getting a slow and steady number of people that are following you on a regular basis. So for me, I sit down like once a week and I might go through, take a look at the notifications, see who's following me, go and check them out. And then if I think that they look like the right type of client, then I'll go say hi and I'll engage in a conversation with them. Now, one of the things that I like to do is that when I understand a little bit more about them, I do offer them a relevant freebie or low price product that I think is going to be right for them. And so, for example, if I went and followed somebody and let's say they were a content expert and they said to me, hey, Sue, what do you feel is your biggest challenge with content right now? I might tell them what my biggest problem is. And they might come back to me and say, hey, I've got this freebie or this workshop that is specifically for the problem you've just told me. If you want to check it out, feel free to. I don't feel offended by that. I'm not upset that they've sent that to me. They asked me a question, they got into a conversation. I've obviously followed them because I want to learn more of what they're talking about. So this is where sometimes when we're afraid to sell, even get into conversations, it can actually stop us from hitting some of the goals that we've got. Like, I'm on this platform to connect, to build my community, to be able to help people, but I also want to be able to offer them the things that I've got that I know that could be helpful. And yesterday I ran a sales growth content system workshop. And when I talked about messaging my new followers, one of my attendees said, oh no, that's too salesy. And so I really want you to check in on your mindset around connecting with people when they do the thing that you wanted them to do. So when somebody comments on something, like they comment the word, you've got a ManyChat automation, and then you're sending them something, then is there like a follow-up? A lot of times we do all this activity and we take this action in order to get more sales, in order to get more clients, but then we stop short of actually completing the action. Like, we're like, here's the thing, and then we ghost them. We don't talk about it again. We never follow up. We never see if they liked it, if it worked, if they wanted to have a conversation further, if they needed more help, whatever that might be. Now, if you've got mindset blocks around selling, offering what you have, that is something that you've got to work on. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want you to ask yourself the question for this particular letter: what action am I taking every day that is helping me to make more sales in my business? And if you're like, I'm not doing anything, then that is something that you have to fix. Our third letter is leadership. And leadership is you leading your team, leading yourself, and leading your community and clients. And so the question is, how are you showing up as a leader to be able to take the action, to know what your strategy is, to actually be the visionary for what it is you're trying to build, what you're trying to create, and how you're making those offers out in the market? Because if you're not leading the ship, nobody is. And so thinking about, okay, what do I need to do as the leader of my business when it comes to the strategy and action? What do I need to do when it comes to my team and how I'm getting them to support me to be able to execute on the things that we want to? When it comes to leading my community, how am I positioning myself as the authority, as the person that they're coming to when it comes to, for me, building a personal brand and building a brand that sells for them? What am I doing? Like, how am I showing up? What's the messaging that I've got? What am I creating that helps them to learn more about how they can work with me? And then how am I leading my clients? How am I being the person that helps them to execute at such a high level that they get the results and transformation that they want? And I think often we don't go deep into these things. It's just all very surface level. And then we're wondering why things aren't working the way that we want. And so really asking yourself, how am I being a leader across the board to myself, to my team, to my community, to my clients? And having a strategy and taking action is so important. And the fourth one, the E, is energy. And I always say your energy is your invitation. And so when I come across people online and their energy comes through the screen at me, I am like, tell me more. Let me follow you. What else have you got? What else have you said? And so really thinking about, how am I energetically showing up for my audience? How am I energetically showing up for myself? If I want to make more sales, also, what is the energy that I want to be putting out there? The energy of, I don't want to be salesy, is not an energy that you want. At the end of the day, the majority of people that say they don't want to be salesy, they're not salesy people anyway. So they never come across as salesy. And we also have to understand that through the connection, through understanding of our audience, through the energetic exchange, that is what makes people want to buy from us. And it can convert really quickly. Like, I have seen people online, I've gone and binged some of their stuff, and within a day or two, I am like, their energy is like, I'm feeling it. Like, I'm like, you are my kind of person. And so you have to ask yourself whether you're energetically being the kind of person that when your dream client comes across you, they're like, oh my gosh, who is this? I need to know more about them. How do I buy from them? What have you got? Like, that's the energy we want to be showing up with. And so if you want to make more sales in your business, those are 4 things that I really want you to think about. What is the strategy that I am creating? What is the action I'm taking on a daily basis? How am I being a leader? And what is the energy that I'm bringing to what I'm doing? And let's be honest, if you're a business owner, then sales are the lifeblood of your business. And this is something that we've just got to keep getting better and better at, and find the right strategies and systems that are working for us so that we've got the cash flow to have the impact that we want. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love you to subscribe and like and share. And if you want to find out more about how you can sell in an energetic way that you love and that lights you up so that you can serve more of your audience and the community, then make sure that you grab my free training below, which is the 7-Figure Brand Blueprint. And if you want to connect on Instagram, just follow me at Suze Chadwick, send me a DM. Let me know that you've watched this. And if you've got any questions, just let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you next time.